So there are two Muslim women in our community who I happen to know. One of them says that walking and shopping in our hometown, in this town, is not a good experience for her. She says she gets persecuted for being a Muslim everywhere she goes. I know another lady who goes to the same stores that this first lady does the same shopping, the same town, and says it's a great town. She never gets any persecution at all. How could two ladies in the same town, meeting the same people in the same shops, one says she's persecuted, the other says everything's fine? How much of our persecution is perceived and how much is reality? The guy says, they fired me because I'm black. He said, no, I know the owner. He says, you were an embezzler, you stole from the company. No, they fired me because I'm black. I only took that money because I got turned down for a promotion, and the money I took didn't even add up to what they should have paid me rightfully. Denial is a really funny thing, and the way our brains work, we can take certain experiences in our life and turn them into persecution. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's in between. And even if they aren't being persecuted at that moment, that somehow an accumulation of persecutions or a mindset causes them to have this sort of narrow focus to where when anybody interacts with them, it always seems to be an assault because that's what they've grown to expect. And some people are just a little crazy, and God made them all, and that's that. And I have to watch for this in myself because denial is a very tricky little game our brains play on ourselves. It's that old saying about the man who walks up to the wise man as he gets ready to enter a new town. He says, I've never been to this town. What are the people like here? And the wise man says, well, what were the people like in the last town you were in? They're wonderful and lovely. He says, well, that's the way they are here too. And then a moment later, another man walks up to the wise man and says, I'm new to this town. What are the people like here? He says, they're like the people in the last town you were in. He says, what were the people like in the last town you were in? They were horrible people. He says, well, they're that way here too.
Play on America!